So this campaign is about understanding that we today are the wealthiest country in the history of the world. But most people don't know that. And they don't know that because they're too busy working 50 or 60 hours a week to know that almost all of the new wealth and income being created is going to the top 1%. So what this campaign is about is not only asking people to envisage a new America, but also to understand that no president, not Bernie Sanders or anybody else, can do it alone. And this is what Senator Turner was talking about. Every person in this room is enormously powerful if you choose to use your power. And every person in this room is enormously powerless if you choose not to use that power. So here is the issue. Here is the issue. The issue is that when millions of people come together and they stand up and they say, you know what? In America, men and women have fought and died. And as the former chairman of the Senate Veterans Committee, I've had the opportunity to meet with some great heroes and heroines. And you know what they did? They put their lives on the line from World War II on up to defend American democracy. Now, we take democracy kind of for granted. But the truth is, democracy is a very, very radical idea. And what that means is that in the course of world history, almost always you had a king or a queen or a czar. Those guys made the decisions. You're going off to war. I said you're going off to war. You're paying taxes. I'm taking your land. I made that decision. It doesn't matter what you think or what happens to your life. What democracy is about is saying that all of us together have the right to determine the future of this country. But in the last election in November 2014, 63% of the American people didn't vote. 80% of young people didn't vote. And what happens when ordinary people, working people, low-income people, middle-class people, young people don't vote, that political vacuum is filled by wealthy campaign contributors and lobbyists who say, hey, this is great. Young people aren't voting. That is fantastic. We can now make the decisions for this country. Older people are not voting. That's great. Because the world changes when you have a handful of billionaires making the decisions as opposed to ordinary Americans making the decisions. So what this campaign is about is calling for a political revolution. And what that means is no president, not Bernie Sanders, not anybody else can do it alone. Why is that? And I'll tell you why. And this is a truth that many politicians will not tell you. The truth is that Wall Street, corporate America, the corporate media, large campaign donors have so much influence over the political and economic system of our country today that no president, not the best intentioned in the world, can take them on. The only way we take them on is when millions of people, black and white and Latino and Native Americans and Asian Americans, gay and straight, men and women, when people stand up and when they demand something which is not really terribly radical, when they demand that the United States government starts representing ordinary Americans rather than wealthy campaign contributors. When that happens, we transform America. That's what this campaign is about.